Media Advisory. Monday, May 15, 2023. National Institute of Health-funded clinical trial will determine safety. Tolerability of experimental drug. A first-in-human clinical trial of an experimental oral drug for removing radioactive contaminants from inside the body has begun. The trial is testing the safety, tolerability, and processing in the body of escalating doses of the investigational drug product HOPO-14-1 in healthy adults. The National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases NIH, part of the National Institutes of Health, is funding the Phase 1 trial, which is sponsored and conducted by SRI International of Menlo Park, California. Internal radioactive contamination occurs when radioactive elements are absorbed through wounded skin, inhaled, or ingested. This could happen as the result of a nuclear power plant accident or the detonation of a dirty bomb or nuclear weapon. As the atoms of radioactive elements decay, they emit ionizing radiation, which can damage DNA, tissues, and organs. One method for reducing the risk of this damage is to remove the radioactive elements from the body as soon as possible after contamination occurs. The Food and Drug Administration has approved 2 products for removing internal radioactive contamination. These drugs, both based on diethylnitramine pentacetate DT-KA, are administered intravenously by a healthcare provider and can remove 3 radioactive elements: plutonium, americium, and curium. In contrast, HOPO-14-1 has been formulated as an oral capsule, which would be easier than an intravenous drug to stockpile and to deploy and administer during an emergency. Preclinical research has shown that HOPO-14-1 can effectively remove many radioactive contaminants, including uranium and neptunium, in addition to plutonium, americium, and curium. These studies also have found that HOPO-14-1 is up to 100 times more effective than DTP at binding and removing these radioactive elements. NIH has funded the discovery and development of HOPO-14-1 since 2006. The active pharmaceutical ingredient in the drug is called 343L-12-HOPO. The clinical trial is taking place at a site in Plymouth, Michigan, under the leadership of Sasha N. Gunwardena, MD, a physician investigator at SRI's Clinical Trials Unit and an assistant professor of medicine at the University of Michigan Medical School in Ann Arbor. The study team will enroll 42 healthy participants ages 18 to 65 years in 7 groups of 6. Each participant in the first group will receive a 100 mg dose of HOPO-14-1. The subsequent groups will receive increasingly higher doses of the study drug, up to 7,500 mg in the final group if lower doses are deemed safe. Participants will undergo intensive safety monitoring and will be followed for 14 days to measure the absorption, distribution, and elimination of the studied drug. Results are expected in 2024. Additional information about the trial is available in Clinical Trials.gov under Study Identifier NC T5,628,961. Andrea DiCarlo Cohen, Ph.D., Director of the Radiation and Nuclear Countermeasures Program in the NIH Division of Allergy, Immunology, and Transplantation, is available to respond to media inquiries about the trial. NIH conducts and supports research at National Institute of Health throughout the United States and worldwide to study the causes of infectious and immune-mediated diseases and to develop better means of preventing, diagnosing, and treating these illnesses. News releases, fact sheets, and other NIH-related materials are available on the NIH website. About the National Institutes of Health. National Institute of Health. National Institute of Health. The nation's medical research agency includes 27 institutes and centers and is a component of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. National Institute of Health is the primary federal agency conducting and supporting basic, clinical, and translational medical research and is investigating the causes, treatments, and cures for both common and rare diseases. For more information about National Institute of Health and its programs, visit www.nagov. National Institute of Health Turning Discovery into Health Registered.